you haven't been here,
Yeah.
right?
No.
Okay, so you're gonna love this. This is such a weird experience.
Nice. Wow.
So the first part is like
Right.
just showing you the build up, right?
Right.
And
You're getting bigger and bigger.
yeah.
Oh, I see. This is sort of this is great. This is,
Yeah.
I'm building your expectation of what you're about to experience.
Exactly. Yeah.
This transitions really nicely from the cave, and you rise
Yeah.
up into the forest. That's super nice.
And so now, like, think about the nervous system. It's actually telling your nervous system, you belong here. You're comfortable. You're just gonna walk over towards that tree over there. It's all good. So now,
Oh, I see.
We're gonna try to get.
Oh, that's
try to
cool.
get to the little tip of the leaf.
That's super cool.
I knew you were gonna love this. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Right? And we're shrinking. Yeah, we're going in, right?
That's
and look,
crazy.
You remember my COVID world, and you had but this is the journey all the way through from being in the lab to actually like
holy
now come in the cell.
Oh man,
it gets deeper, right? But it's the magic of this is you and I are doing this together. I don't just have the reference point of going into it. I can turn and see you get really tiny, right? Look, I'm going to get really small, right? Something about this reminds me of My World Become or something. It feels like the mind warp, right? Look at the shader here. So they get furry.
Yeah, it gets all fuzzy. They dissolve.
It's becoming energy. We're becoming energetic molecules right now.
Oh my god, look at this. Wow.
I knew
there we go,
you would
deeper,
love
deeper.
This. Yeah.
We also see how much space there is.
Exactly.
We're all nothing but space.
Yeah, we're just the in between.
Oh my gosh!
If
they had Oscars
for
VR, this would get it.
Seriously, and the ability to move away from it and move back into it. You know.
Oops, I lose.
So this is the core of this.
Yeah.
Core of this.
Well, the music changing too to the
sort of. Oh wait, I don't have the music up. That's interesting. Oh, you're right. Yeah, the sound goes with it. That's great.
Like we're beyond the world of music.
Yeah.
Our ears are too small.
Now it's just clinking, energetic bangs of sorts. It's really good.
Okay, that's
mind blown, right? So now it's halfway. We're halfway.
Oh my gosh, okay.
Let's go the other way.
So we just follow the lines?
You remember Geeknificent? You've met them before. This very big cat. Geek brought me here. I brought Geek to the Japanese museum, which they'd never seen. And then Geek brought me here, and I was like, wow, we're having like world wars here. You know, like I show you one epic world and you're like, oh, you got that? Let me show you this.
You got that? Watch this. Yeah.
Walking out is its own experience too.
It's very interesting. Yeah, because you're not looking forward toward a model. You're going toward a textured sphere, which just works. Oh yeah, here we go.
Oh yeah, right?
Oh man.
So good. So good.
Yeah, this is the Eames Power of 10 video, but in VR.
Yeah, exactly.
Clever stuff. Those Japanese. Okay.
Yeah.
So we just keep going?
Now we keep going.
Holy shit.
Here we go.
Oh, look at that. Man, how do they do it? And there's only 170 megs.
I know.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh.
This is when VR becomes.
You kind of want to go backwards.
Right. Yeah, that's what I've been doing because I wanted to watch the world this time as it became nothing. It's funny because I used to do this exercise, not really exercise, nobody told me to do it. It was a functional dissociation effect where when I was really overwhelmed, I would picture, and so I'm asking myself this question right now of like, how far was the earth from me to make me feel safe again? In my mind, I would imagine going and sitting on the moon And I think it was about this distance right here. Like I could still see it, but it was almost like I could put it in my hand.
Right.
And that made
Perspective.
Me feel like, okay,
nice meditation technique.
Yeah, exactly.
Just recenter yourself.
Yeah, and be the one holding yourself, kind of thing. It's like a gentle way to be like, I am outside of this also.
Well, this is impressive. Okay, there's the sun.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Solar system. Here we go, Voyager 1. We just passed Voyager 1.
Thanks for the update, Kat.
Yeah.
I love it.
Pass. Wow.
Now, at some point, we're going to hit the end here, and then I'm going to ask you, what's the 2.0 of this world? I have ideas, but I like it when we come up with those together.
So that's the Milky Way.
Yeah.
2.0. Just keeps going. Yeah. Holy cow. And every one of these dots is a galaxy as dense as ours or more.
Exactly. And I was like, when I got to this point, I was like, what? I don't get to go into the multiverse? Like, oh, this world sucks.
Yeah, the fourth dimension, the 16th dimension.
It's so inside the box.
So it is so inside the box. Yeah, right. They didn't even try.
They didn't even really
Is that
think,
all?
How do we get bigger than this moment? No, they multiverse was the bigger. Yeah.
Well, then okay. My feeling is the next step is three-body problem, which is it starts dealing with like let's go from 3 dimensions to 4 dimensions and see what that experience is like.
I love that.
And then also the three-body problem. There's some like if in 4th dimensions, I have to make sure my limbs stay close to me because I could accidentally stick my hand in your brain.
Right.
You know, and that's a bad thing. You know,
it's like
4th dimensional things don't do that because it's rude.
Yeah.
It kills you by accident by gesticulating through your brain.
That's right. Just being like, look over there. Yeah, interesting. I think next level.
What's great is this doesn't have it has a preamble, which is great, but it's not narrated. You kind of figure it out just by your relationship to it. Yeah. Sorry, go on. You were saying.
No, actually, I think that's a easier reach next level. Is being able. I think that this piece about scale. It's okay, but it would be really nice to have the Nico controls in the world where I could turn that off over here.
Yes.
So I could really just feel the journey. I could turn the labels off.
Just be here.
Yeah. And then the next level, like the super next, would be being able to travel to certain parts within the space. And maybe even interact with certain moments and be able to spin an atom and watch it collide and maybe walk through a doorway and learn about the atomic bomb and like the pine tree as the example, learning about a little bit about the like chloroform pumping through.
Oh, or take a classroom. I'll meet you at the sun, or I'll meet you at the DNA strand, and then everybody knows how to get there because they've been on this journey before. Yeah. But once they get there, it unlocks all the DNA content.
That's right. Yeah. This to me feels like a hub to all kinds of worlds, and it would. I think that kind of journey of like colliding concepts at different magnifications. And so your book report or your tour report would be about making a world that analyzes the chemistry of the, galaxies with the chemistry of the nuclear atoms of the pine tree or whatever. and looking at those equations. I think that's where
the fractal quality of both.
And being able to tell a story there, and that your presentation in the future for education, you know, with Meta already experimenting with AI, I've been playing with it in the last day. You can just type in, I want this object, and it'll generate a completely organic object for you off of what you described. So we're really close to world asset building that is eye vomit level, you know, just like whatever you think you can make, without really feeling the synthesis. And so then education will possibly be that container coming in and saying, no, you have to build reasoning to connect with your ideas
and relationship too, because you've got, like, if you said, hey, we're going to take the class and we're going to go be in the desert for the day, or you say we're going to take the class and we're going to go hang out on a DNA strand, you should be able to carry home with you the same kind of relationship as while standing on a desert. I actually stood on the nucleus of a proton, or whatever. I've ridden the fleas back.
And there's like domains of application of what it's good, why it's good to know this thing, why it's good to understand these things. So if I'm going to the desert and I'm learning about the conservation of water by cacti, but I'm also learning my own survival skills if I ever get lost in the desert. And I'm also learning ways to convert deserts into forests if deserts are starting to encroach. And so now I'm learning my different domains of roles, like my global citizen role, about the ecology. I'm learning my own personal survival role. And if I'm presenting on those levels, that's getting everybody's being covered and activated in their interests.
Well, think of a global warming globe where you have the tower of raising the temperature and watching what starts to happen, and then dive into to see what, like, watch having a slider that allows you the water, the sea rising and the ice melting through your action.
That's right. All the water being drained out of California to be put in bottled water. And now you can see the plastic levels rising in the ocean out right next to the India. And then you can also see the plant life diminishing and the biodiversity. So like you just start to get to see these effects and start to realize every time I buy that plastic bottle, I'm doing this. And
also you can dial it down to the ice age, and you can make the argument, well, you know, this is a natural thing, but then compare it to a not natural thing and see the differences it's too simple to say, ice ages come and go, it's going to be fine. It's but we're turning the dial.
For the Roe v. Wade and this whole thing on abortion, how do you demonstrate in a three-dimensional way the statistics that 18 years after Roe v. Wade went into place, the crime rate dropped clearly and significantly throughout the planet? And so being able to show that relationship and interact with it, then the question is, how many states with anti-abortion laws does it take to overwhelm our police departments, you know, and burn them out and turn into more violence there and whatever. So like, I think that being able to touch these things creates a whole other conversation to be ideating on.
Agreed. Well, I'd love to see that same globe, the global warming globe, except it's religious proliferation on the globe over time. So you can see,
right? The HIV follows dictatorship governments and collapsed ecosystems of humans helping each other. That's where you see the hot spots erupt. And if you could see that visually on a planet like ripples, and then you could dial it down and feel relief, but realize to actually dial it down, these are my roles to be getting involved in. Talk about HIV with somebody I care about once a month. You know, just like bring it up in a conversation, reduce the stigma. Now you can see the stigma clouds going away, right? and increasing access and being a peer support specialist, like all these pieces, when they start to become something you're deciding at a macro, mezzo, and micro level, you're leaving virtual reality with a sense of, I've got this. I've got things I'm going to do. I'm going to manifest this world the way I choose it. And I think
how does the content change the audience?
The learning organism that would develop from that three-dimensional, multi-perspective space, I just think it would make the educational journey go from a linear learn this,
book reading,
this, and then vomit it out to prove that you actually at least knew how to navigate that at one time in your life, to 360 degrees, and then add 3 dimensions to that perspective of growth, and that theories become like iteration becomes a core value, but micro iteration, where it's like teaching people how to test their internal hypotheses and prove their process of testing that through creation and through dialogue and debate. And
that's a shared experience, like you said. It's a multiplayer experience. It's not just individual. I did this thing, you should try it. It's like we will do this thing, and we will walk away.
The teacher is not there to tell you how much you have to learn or what you have to learn. You can give a specific domain of, we're going to learn, and this is very what is it called? Those schools that are alternative for young children. What are their names? Do you know what I'm talking about?
The Montessori,
like and there's a second one, exactly, where it's little scientist-based learning of, you find the direction you're pulled, and then you so it does have that philosophy embedded in it, but I think that some hybrid between the hyperstructure of current education and the free-for-all structure of Montessori to some degree would be the fluid solution to our educational and misinformation crisis, right?
I noticed when we first arrived, there were pens.
Exactly.
I wonder if you can...
You're having the same idea.
Can you draw... You could sketch.
But I also want to trace the pen through the process. I want to see what actually happens when you do the journey. I forgot I was going to grab one and just hang on to it, not drawing until we got to this point, and then I was going to do it again.
Oh.
I mean,
want to go get pens?
Yeah, but okay, let's do that.